So in this video, we're going to be talking about what to do and the best way to help maybe a loved one or a family member who is suffering from food addiction. It is a well-known fact that there is no addict that is going to go home and recover in isolation. That is just a recipe for relapse right there. So we want to talk about what you can do for your family member or your loved one that is suffering from food addiction without enabling them or actually sabotaging their recovery. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Welcome back, Blank Dieters. Thank you so much for your continued support. I appreciate all my returning subscribers. I see each and every one of you. If you are a newcomer, welcome. Remember to take a look around. I have a lot of content here for you that you're going to find helpful. And do me a favor and complete the ritual that makes you family by clicking the subscribe button down below. Also click the notification bell so you are told every time that I upload a new video. Like and share with your family and friends. Leave me a comment as well. I really want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you're thinking about the subject that we're talking about today. And I will get back to you in the comment section down below and we can have a full-on discussion down in the comment section. Anyway, so we are talking about what you can do to help a loved one that is suffering from food addiction. Now, as we discussed before, there is no addict who can recover in isolation. This is so true, especially for people who share their homes, their meals, and maybe their time with other people around them. They need to be taught how to navigate that environment. So if you are the loved one, you also need to be trained on how to help someone who is recovering from such an addiction. The last thing that you want to do is end up being an active saboteur to your loved one's journey by, let's say, teasing them and mocking them and just making light of their journey to recovery. So that's why I think such a video is necessary, so you know how to help someone who is really struggling through this addiction. Remember, we discovered before that food is really an addictive substance. Food can be addictive, and food addiction is actually real, proven by science. Well, the first thing that you need to do is you need to recognize your own limitation as a human being. Some people in these other addiction support groups actually get taught that you cannot be responsible for the next person's actions. You cannot cause, cure, or control. What you can do is just to be there, maybe be the support system. But to be honest, you cannot make someone do anything. Recognize that, okay, I'm limited when it comes to this. They're going to have to want this for themselves, but all I'm here to do is to offer support and be a support system for them. So that's what you need to realize. Let's say there comes a day when they actually fail on their diet. You can't make them to do anything. You cannot force them. You can't do anything. You can only support, and your support is going to be the thing that triggers the decision to want to do better. The second thing that you can do to help a loved one who is suffering from food addiction is learn about the disease. Yes, it's a disease. Addiction is an actual disease. Learn about it. If your loved one is going to meetings like Overeaters Anonymous or any other counseling that they're going through or a group session, go with them, attend with them, learn the struggles that other people are going through. Even use other people's testimonies, other people's experiences to actually anticipate what your loved one may be looking forward to or what your loved one may come across along their journey. Get books, go on Google, learn about exactly, if you go to doctor's appointments, ask as many questions as possible. Ask the doctor, what can I do as their support system? I need to learn more about this so that if I see them behaving in a certain way, I know this is what I need to do to help them. This is a negative thing and this is a positive thing. Whenever you see negative signs, you're like, uh-oh, this is time for me to help them. They're going down the wrong path. So educate yourself as much as possible. Get books. Go read articles, watch videos, whatever you can do to soak yourself in information about food addiction. Another thing that you need to do is you need to consider the impact of your words on your loved one that you're trying to help. Remember this, anyone who suffers from food addiction or any body dysmorphia, they have been told so much about the way they look, you need to change X, Y, and Z. They're very sensitive to remarks about any changes that happen to their bodies, even complimentary ones. You may say, hey, you're looking smaller. That may actually trigger something that you don't even understand, because maybe you're not the one that's addicted, or because you're not the one going through that type of situation. So always be careful with your words. Know the things that trigger them, know the things that encourage them, know exactly the words that move them in the direction that you are trying to get them to go. You need to also manage your expectations. Recovery is a very slow process. One of my favorite statements on this channel, if you're familiar with my videos, I say weight loss or recovery is a marathon. It is not a sprint. This can actually be deceiving because somebody's outsides can recover before they're inside. They may actually lose weight, but the inside, let's say the emotional triggers and psychological triggers that cause them to start overeating in the first place have not been dealt with. When I used to watch My 600-Pound Life, I saw that the doctor there, who was the bariatric surgeon, what he would do, he would send people to counseling. And I never used to understand. But when I watched the counseling sessions, the counselor would actually get down to the deep, darkest root of the cause that was making them want to seek refuge in a food, run to food all the time. What was that thing that was making them, what emotion, what mentality was causing them to want to just resort to eating as opposed to actually solving the issue? So that's one thing that you need to be careful of. Recovery takes a long time. Even after somebody has lost a significant amount of weight and they look okay on the outside, they may still be struggling with those same issues on the inside. Another thing that you may want to do is to offer hands-on support. If you're really serious that you want your loved one to really recover, do the best that you can to be as hands-on as possible. Let's say maybe you're out at a function, a baby shower, a wedding, a party, a birthday party. They have a lot of cake and fried foods and all these things that they love. They may ask you, hey, can you actually go and get me the food so that I don't go there and I'm tempted to pick all these other things? You're going to have to be that person. And bear in mind that this support, this hands-on support may not be an everyday thing. I'm just saying when they need it. There are times when an addict is going through a tough time and they say, hey, I'm going through one of those times. Can you help me? You may have to cook a meal for them. Maybe what they feel like doing is ordering out, and you say, hey, instead of ordering out, why don't I make you a nice baked, fried chicken, which is baked? Or maybe I can make you an avocado dessert instead of the chocolate mousse that you want to order. Something like that, offering that hands-on support of, okay, you don't want to go to the gym? I'll drive you. You don't want to go to your meeting today? You're tired? I'll go with you. So if you offer that hands-on support, that can definitely be the difference between someone who relapses and someone who actually gets into recovery successfully. You also need to be considerate when you're bringing certain foods into the environment that you are sharing with your loved one that is going through food addiction. You especially in the first stages, like the first recovery stages or detoxification stages, when someone is barely a week into their journey of eating healthy, then you start ordering pizza and getting fried chicken or getting the foods that triggers them to relapse in the first place. So you may want to, if you know you have control of your body, of your appetites, why don't you eat your food outside the house or have a separate cupboard that is locked? Eat those foods when you're not in the presence of your loved ones, so you don't risk tempting them to go back to a behavior that they're really trying to beat. The next thing you need to do is don't be afraid to express your concern. Whenever you see your loved one going into a cycle that probably led them to eating in the first place, you may want to speak up like, hey, I think you're getting angry, or no, your relationship didn't go well, or you're having a fight with your spouse, you're having that depressive kind of behavior, and you're under a lot of stress, I'm worried that you may end up going down the road that you don't want to go, which may actually sabotage your recovery. Speak up to your loved ones, because sometimes when you're going through something, you may not be really self-aware to know that, okay, this is a triggering type of situation. So it takes someone on the outside to say, hey, the stress that you're going through, I know your finances are not right. You may want to get that under control, because it may actually trigger you to go back to compulsive overeating. So don't be afraid to speak up, especially if it's a loved one or someone that you're close to. They will take it and it will help them. You also need to support their recovery efforts. A lot of times when someone is recovering from addiction, they need to go to meetings. Maybe they're trying to go to the gym all the time. They need to go shopping by themselves, to spend their time in the kitchen preparing their own food so that they don't end up ordering out. This may be time that they normally used to spend with you, but don't be a complainer and be like, oh, we used to be together. We used to be. Find other ways of spending time with a person, but never complain about the things that are helping in the recovery process. I saw an episode on My 600-Pound Life. The caregiver to the person who was recovering, they were complaining, saying the food, we're always eating bland food in this house. We used to huddle around the table and eat Sunday dinner. Now we don't do that anymore. See, that's complaining, because now what you're trying to do is you're sabotaging somebody else's recovery. So don't do that. Be as supportive as possible and find new ways to spend time with your loved one. Okay, so the final piece of advice that I feel like is helpful in this situation is, remember, the addict you love, it's the addiction that you hate. To you, food is just food, a means to get energy, to move from place A to point B, to do this and to do that. But to them, it's a drug, and they need help to kick that addiction. So that's all I have for you in this video. I hope you found this helpful. Do you have a loved one who suffers from food addiction, or do you suffer from food addiction yourself? If you conquered this habit, let me know down below. How did you do it? Or if you're still on that journey, let me know. Let me know how that journey is going for you. Leave me your thoughts down below. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Till the next video. Bye.